The body remembers, but the spirit rewrites. Imagine your body as an ancient library, each cell a book storing the stories of your life, not just your thoughts, but the visceral experiences that shaped who you are. The Wisdom Keeper. I once worked with a woman named Maya who carried unexplained shoulder pain for over a decade. Medical scans showed nothing wrong. It started after my divorce, she mentioned casually during our session. That shoulder had been holding the weight of betrayal, the tension of signing papers, the grief of moving out alone. Her cells remembered what her mind tried to forget. Science confirms this isn't metaphorical. When we experience trauma, our bodies release stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline that can create lasting changes in our tissues. This is why veterans jump at loud noises years after combat, why childhood trauma correlates with adult disease, why your neck tightens every time you visit your hometown. Your body doesn't speak in words, it speaks in sensation, in restriction, in pain and pleasure. It archives every argument, celebration, and heartbreak at the cellular level, the memory in your muscles. Dr. Candace Pert, the neuroscientist who discovered endorphin receptors, called this phenomenon molecules of emotion. She proved that emotional experiences create biochemical changes throughout our entire body, not just our brain. Think about it. Where do you feel anxiety? Not in abstract thoughts, but in shallow breathing, a racing heart, tightened shoulders. Where do you feel grief? In the heaviness of your limbs, the ache in your chest, the constriction in your throat. Your emotions have physical addresses. They live in your fascia, your nervous system, your gut microbiome. This is why we intuitively say things like heartbreak and gut feeling. The breaking point. For Maya, the breaking point came when her daughter asked why she always tilted her head slightly to the right, unconsciously trying to ease the shoulder pain that had become her constant companion. I realized I was teaching my daughter how to carry pain, Maya told me, tears streaming down her face. I was showing her that suffering silently was normal. This is the hidden cost of unprocessed cellular memory. It doesn't just affect us, it shapes the generations that follow. Epigenetic research now confirms that trauma responses can be inherited. What we don't transform, we transmit. The turning point. But here's where magic happens. While the body remembers, the spirit can rewrite. Maya began a practice of conscious breathing into her shoulder, visualizing light dissolving the stored memories. She wrote letters to her past self, forgiving both herself and her ex-husband. She joined a movement therapy class where she learned to release tension through deliberate shaking, mimicking how animals naturally discharge trauma in the wild. Within weeks, the decade-long pain began to fade. The science of spirit. Science calls this psychoneuroimmunology, the measurable way our thoughts influence our physical health. Studies show that mindfulness practices reduce inflammation markers in the blood. Forgiveness work lowers blood pressure. Gratitude journaling strengthens immune function. Spirituality calls it soul retrieval, gathering back the fragments of ourselves we left behind in painful moments. Indigenous healing traditions have always known that illness often represents soul-lost parts of our essence that separated during overwhelming experiences. The truth lives somewhere in between. Your cells hold memory, but your consciousness holds the pen that can edit your story. The cause and effect. Consider the path from cause to effect. Trauma or stress occurs, gives your body releases stress hormones. Chronic stress continues, your tissues hold tension, inflammation builds. The pattern becomes normalized, gives your brain stops noticing the discomfort. Physical symptoms emerge, gives often seemingly disconnected from the original cause. Medical intervention treats symptoms but may miss the root emotional cause. But when we add spiritual awareness to this cascade, conscious attention interrupts the pattern, gives we notice where we hold tensio. Compassionate presence begins healing, gives we befriend rather than fight our pie. Emotional processing releases physical holding, gives the body responds to acknowledgement. New neural pathways form, gives creating options beyond the trauma response. Integration creates lasting healing, gives as mind, body, and spirit relink. The healing path. This integration doesn't require exotic retreats or expensive therapies. It starts with simple awareness. Notice where you hold tension when stressed. Track emotional patterns that trigger physical symptoms. Practice speaking to your body with kindness. Allow uncomfortable emotions to move through rather than getting stuck. Cultivate practices that discharge stress daily, not just in crisis. For Maya, healing came through a combination of somatic therapy, meditation, and conscious movement. For others, it might be journaling, energy work, or trauma-informed yoga. The specific modality matters less than the principle. bringing conscious awareness to unconscious patterns. The invitatio. What is your body remembering today? That childhood dismissal showing up as chronic digestive issues. That heartbreak manifesting as shallow breathing. That career stress appearing as tension headaches. And more importantly, is your spirit ready to begin rewriting? Because this is why true healing requires both medicine and meaning, both science and soul. The body remembers everything, but the spirit's power to transform is limitless. Your cells are waiting for your consciousness to remember its own power.